So we had quite a response to last week's podcast. I would say that it was enthusiastic. I think we got a little bit more attitude in the chat. I think we might have had our first screaming match in a while. So remember that Chappelle show where he points out that everyone can dance. You just got to find the right music. It's we play smooth jazz in the chat, and everyone takes it easy and doesn't do anything and doesn't participate. But RJ gets going on the electric guitar, and man, oh man, people start jumping off the top rope. It is insane. But we are back at it. We are in the end of the fourth round in real life right now. But we started off covering around the 307, 308 last week, so we'll pick it up there and run it through kind of pick and trade by pick. See if we can do a kind of real time timeline here. So we'll do that until we catch up to live, and we've got a full house. 3 Vikings, we got Panthers, we got Eagles, we've got Broncos, and making his monthly, quarterly, semi-annual appearance, Commanders is back in here.
You're welcome.
It just must have been bad timing last week, Monday and Wednesday, just because I feel like, especially with the number of picks you had in that first round, you definitely wanted to get in here and talk about, your process and what you went through and all the terrible offers you had to turn down before you finally pick your guys.
Oh, I did. Sick kids kept me back.
Well, that'll happen. You get them down in Florida running around like crazy kids for a week, and then they come back from all that fun, and their immune systems just suck.
Yep. First year of school do that.
Ooh. Good times. So help me out, guys. I know we had quite a few jokes post-pod, and I'm not sure exactly where I cut between pod and post-pod. Was it the 108 or the 109 that we last covered on the pod?
309.
309, that's what I mean. Okay, because I know we made many jokes about just the tip after the pod ended, but oh my goodness. Yes, I know we're all three. Nonetheless, we'll start at the 3. So let's see. The tip pick was at 10:08. So if I look at that as well versus the
we talked about the tip pick.
I thought so. So we gone from the 309 to, I think it's the 431. And in that time, we've had 30 trades take place in the league. So we're going to kind of go side by side here and cover both. Because, that's the thing I was noticing when I was trying to prep for this was the trades have so much impact as to who's in the position. We're starting at the 310. I pick at the 313, and the guy I'm trading for the pick from doesn't have the pick yet. So, thus is life. Anyways, so we've got nice little trade between Saints and I. I'm continuing to break down a running back, Zach Moss, the 413, the 415, and the 437 for Samaje Perine, 313, 318, and 325. This is, again, continuing to downgrade my Aaron Jones into mush. So at some point we'll get the flow chart going on this, but this is how I pick up the 313. And then we've got a series of Browns trades here. The big one, A.J. Brown, 417 and 514 from the Pats to the Browns for Justin Shorter, 332, and his first and second back next year. I feel like whenever Browns trades for a certain couple of teams' picks, like this is what the end game is. I'm just going to hold this until I can trade it back to them for double what I paid for it.
It's fine value. AJ Brown is the one top tier wide receiver that nobody seems to want, mostly because of his cap hit. But Browns can afford him, so he can definitely take advantage of the points this year.
Yep. I mean, he had. It's funny too. It just goes round and round because I think Pats gave up his first for CD. Then AJ Brown getting put back in that place, and so many times, especially since they come out, those guys have been in a very similar tier of production. So maybe that's something that just interests me. A few more trades before we get back into the run of picks. I trade Kendall Fuller in the 537 for the 529. It's a fifth round. Nobody cares. Colts trading a future fourth for the 404, and Bears trading a future fourth for the 417. So kind of seeing futures go straight up for picks all over the fourth round at this point. And I mean, with people skipping picks and roster space getting kind of tight, that kind of I feel is what happens every year.
Yeah. People run out of years, realize that they don't need these fourth round picks. So I like it.
Well, going back to the draft here, with the 74th overall pick in the draft, 310, Bills taking Jordan McGee. Browns taking Jeremiah Trotter Jr. as part of his maneuvering. And Austin Booker going to 312 to the Patriots. You know what? This back and forth isn't working. I'm losing my place too many times, and the flow isn't there. So sorry, guys. It was an experiment. I'm doing too much talking, and we're not having a good conversation. So let's switch it over. We'll just go through the draft here. Go through the 315. We'll stop and talk about picks here. So Cooper DeJean going 314 to the Jags, and the Seahawks taking Jacob Cowing, the receiver, the 49ers. RJ, anything that kind of jumps out to you in that 310 to 315 range?
Cowing was probably one of the last few wide receivers of like a draftable tier. I think we see another one go in the next few picks, and then that's about it. The rest of them, I don't know if they're like if they even stay on the team. But I like the Cowing pick. I like the Cooper pick based on position right now. We'll see if a position change happens in training camp. But if he maintains being a safety, that could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that he's white, like, did I miss anything? Like, did he do something dumb in college? Because I was seeing all those Adam Driver chasing the guy out of town memes about Cooper DeJean, or is it just that he's white and he went to Iowa?
It's just white. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, White went to Iowa, broke his leg later in the season, so like there's some questions on like durability or just what he's going to be as a product after that. But
all right. As we go on, the 316 to the Falcons for taking Jared Wiley. Titans taking Tyron Hooper. To a shock to nobody, I'm back on the clock at 318, taking Brendan Rice. Bills taking Javon Solomon. Jags taking Terrion Arnold. So Jags taking the Texans from 2 owners ago approach of just loading up on all the corners. Lions going at Nia Smith. Packers making their first pick of the draft at 322 is Jalix Hunt, and the Bears at 323 taking JT Bertrand. So we'll pause there. James, anything you want to highlight from that section? Or from before?
I really like the Titans pick of the Green Bay. That's about it. The edge that the Packers drafted is interesting because he was a safety converted to edge. So just an interesting prospect profile.
That's true. You're right. We were talking about him post-draft or post-pod last week. And then, of course, and we'll talk about this when we jump back over to trades. But I think Hunt lasts about 2 hours or 2 picks on Jeremy's team before he is traded to a new destination. So I think that's what happened with, I think, a tight end that Jeremy took last year. So yeah, Matt doesn't like picks until he does. All right, Bill, what are your thoughts so far? I mean, got to go around the horn here so we just don't burn through the entire draft.
No, I think that Terrion Arnold being taken over Quignon is interesting. And I weirdly, the more I said, I didn't like it at the time. I knew you were going to take him at some point. I really like Rice. I think he's got a great opportunity here, and I haven't given enough respect of his landing spot and the opportunity that he has, considering the core that's there. But yeah, I mean, I really like both of those picks. Generally, I just think that Arnold going before Quignon was an interesting move.
This is true. All right, moving along. Bills back on the clock here at 324, taking Michael Hall Jr. Broncos, Devondre Sweat, stopping the fall of these D tackles here. I mean, thought that was a heck of a pick. I go back into the small white linebacker draft that I like so much. This time, Tommy Eichenberg, Quinyon Mitchell going to 327, and then I come back and grab a safety, Jaden Hicks, at the 328. Cardinals at 329 with Johnny Wilson. Definitely a rising name pre-draft that ran into some stops. Then Mason Smith, a very nice value pick at 330. And Chris Jenkins as the other big defensive tackle here going in this range. So we'll pause. Anything really stand out to anyone in that run?
Nothing super surprising to me. I've always been of the mindset, though, of if you're drafting a corner, it better be in the 5th round. I just don't see. I mean, people obviously have different opinions, but cornerbacks, typically the ones that put up the most points are the ones that are bad, with the exception of a small few, breaking the pick 6 record and all that fun stuff. But I will never understand people taking cornerbacks outside of the late 4th and 5th round.
Did you talk about both of your picks, Mike?
I'll mention them. To be honest, I was influenced a little bit by an Athletic article talking about each beat writer's favorite pick for their team. And the Raiders beat writer really liked Eichenberg for, again, undersized linebacker. That's why he fell, but all his bona fides at Ohio State were pretty solid. So figure I'll give him a shot in Vegas and see what happens. And then same kind of story with Jaden Hicks. He's probably got to find a role this year and step it into a full-time role next year. But again, that's why he's there at the end of the 3rd round. And because my team's in the state it's in, I can afford to be a little patient.
Well said.
What do you guys think about the D tackles falling this far? Because we had, I think it was Byron Murphy in the 1st. Then we had Johnny Newton, I think, in that late 2nd. And then is this the 3rd, 4th, and 5th that have gone here? Does another D tackle go?
Yeah, I don't think that anybody went ahead of these guys. It was quite a slip.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Robinson from Arizona.
Oh, that's right. Because he's the edge that was listed as a D tackle right now.
Yeah, it was Murphy at 31, Fisk at 214, Robinson 219, Johnny Newton at 302, Rook at 303, and then it waits from 303 to 324. I mean, there's a pretty significant drop off in just wait time. I feel like once Newton and Rook went, that should have started a run, and the run never happened. And then it just became kind of like a your preference kind of thing. Between teams that did take one.
They're all pretty bad. There's one defensive tackle.
I'm actually going to agree with RJ. Yeah,
I mean, they're
these
also
guys are not necessarily 3-down players. Like Michael Hall's a pass rush specialist. He'll be in mostly on 3rd downs. Tavondre
Yeah.
Sweat hasn't proven that he can stay in shape or pass rush. And then Mason Smith, his best football was as a freshman at LSU. It's been 3 years. This was a tools draft pick by Balky out there in Jacksonville. Like, he looks sexy, but he hasn't really shown it. And then Chris Jenkins is probably the most likely to be a 3-down role player out of them. But he's going to be in a heavy rotation in Cincy. So,
Yeah, he'll be sitting behind Richardson until injury or next year.
Well, I mean, we're at that part of the draft here. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, if you're a player going in this range, you're either a starting level corner, a larger nose tackle type D tackle, or you're buried 2, 3, or 4 slots down on the depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's a good situation, the guy in front of you is older, the coach really liked you, someone in the fan base said something nice about you, whatever, you've got buzzed up, and now we have to have you in this range.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it's these are all guesses unless they're in a position that we're immediately jumping on and saying, oh, that position sucks. Because that's what it is. Like, hey, I got a great nose tackle. Cool. Here's 100 points. Now, you might have gotten really, really, really lucky, and you got the 250-pointer because he's on the field. And again, yeah, Sweat learns how to pass rush. Jenkins has enough mobility that they keep him in and on 3rd downs, and he's a 3-down nose now. Again, all these things can happen. Wouldn't bet on them if they could happen.
well, Mason Smith, when healthy at LSU his freshman year, looked like a future top 10 pick. Like, he is the highest.
Why do we invite James on every week?
For this, exactly for this.
I mean, okay, a potential top 10 pick. He was, I guess, pick 45. Anyways, let's just keep going. 332, Titans taken. Somebody else try and say that name. I can't do that.
Edifwan Ulafaccio.
Gesundheit. Cowboys going Nate Wiggins, and then I close out the 3rd round with Jaheim Bell. Falcons grab the next corner at 401, Kool-Aid. Giants with a nice pick of a safety in Cameron Kitchens. Cardinals grabbing Jamari Thrash as a fellow connoisseur of Cleveland wide receivers. I'm sorry, buddy. Take some penicillin. We'll see you again next year. And Colts taking Mohamed Kamara, who I was tracking as one of my last, I'd say probably late 2nd, early 3rd round guys I had for DNs that really fell far, and I thought was a great pick by Colts. So we'll pause there. Corners, I'm thinking New England H-back. You know, like I said, this is really the stuff that you dream about when you talk about the draft.
I thought some of this was a pretty decent run of like quality players that fell. Corner like Nate Wiggins is gonna probably do well in Baltimore. Kool-Aid, another one. I like the Cameron Kitchens pick.
Yeah.
I like the Jamari Thrash pick. I like the Kamara pick. Like, I think all of those guys have some opportunity.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Kool-Aid, Kitchens, and that's it in this range. But yeah, those were 2 that I was hoping were going to fall farther. But I mean, I've always wanted Kool-Aid on my roster just because of the name.
That's true. I've been showing that to my wife every once in a while. Actually, we were watching the draft in the 1st round. She hears Kool-Aid. I'm like, that's right, Kool-Aid. She's like, is that somebody's name? I'm like, yep. Kool-Aid. Very surprised. All right, so back to this. Bears taking Tyke Smith at 405. Steelers, Anthony Gould at 406. Bub Means to the Buccaneers at 407. Pats with Kalen Bullock at 408. And the Dolphins going back-to-back at 9 and 10. Joe Milton and Blake Watson. Is this the next quarterback to go after I took Rattler at the end of the second? Milton at the 409, or did someone else go?
Yeah, after Rattler, there wasn't any worth drafting.
Well, yeah, at this point, I think we're all looking for long shots. And crap, if Milton ever got a start, he's a DFS like jam it in.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, based on reports from Plexico Burris recently, Patriots are very remorseful about taking May at 3. So, who knows? Maybe Milton will play.
It's a reverse RG3. They take the big white quarterback at 3 and the athletic black guy in day 3 instead of the athletic black guy on the second overall pick and the white guy backing him up in day 3. There is an old adage: when in doubt, just do the opposite of the Redskins.
No, I mean, these are all clear dart throws. Offensively, we're dying here, it seems like. And it's all just like dart throw defense.
I don't mind the Bub Means pick, but everything else don't.
I don't even know. I've never heard of Blake Watson. So
I'd imagine he's an undrafted free agent.
You don't know about the Old Dominion running back who transferred to Memphis and got $250,000 guaranteed base salary? What?
Oh, you're back. We can hear you again. But no, I don't know about him. But
this is how James is best used in these situations, where he can just come in off the top rope. I just need to stop giving him questions and let him just contribute. Sorry, Bill, go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying. I mean, Bub is the only name that probably has any relevance on offense out of this run, but yeah, it's just a bundle of preferences is what it feels like.
So with 411, he's listed as running back here. Have we confirmed that Vaki is just playing running back, or is he trying out for safety too?
No, they announced him as running back, but he doesn't show up on any running back depth charts.
Anyways, well, he apparently showed out at minicamp, so he goes here at 411. I'd take Jalen Ford at 412. Rams going Louis Reese-Zamet at running back at 413, but he plays for Kansas City, so it's a great pick, and we're all fools for not making it sooner. Ryan Flournoy, receiver from Dallas, going to our Cowboys as well.
Probably
going for it here. And then Saints going back-to-back, A.J. Barner, Seattle tight end, and Imani Bailey, Kansas City running back. So I didn't know that Kansas City took a running back in this draft.
They didn't.
Yeah, they're
So
both.
now they've got 2 of them in 4 picks.
So Zamet Reese is a international signing. He's a rugby player. So every team now gets to keep a guy, and they don't count towards the practice squad or the 53 unless they're on the 53.
I was going to say, so they make it all the way to the final cuts and then they get cut. Almost every time.
No, they basically stay on like practice squad. They get brought in around the same windows as futures contracts, and then I guess they're excluded from counting towards the like roster cuts.
Yeah, they're excluded unless you actually promote them to the 53. Like the British Columbia tackle that Detroit took, he doesn't actually count to the 53 unless they put him on the 53. They can keep him as a 4th-round draft pick on the team, and he can't be claimed by other teams.
I just like his name. mean,
They don't.
neither one of them are going to do anything.
With the international, they don't know what he's going to be. They just put him down as a running back for position's sake.
I feel like they just drafted him to be a return man.
Most likely. The Bailey one's interesting. The Dallas wide receiver is I don't want to say it's a good pick, but it's an interesting pick because apparently he's going to be getting snaps at running back also. So that's an interesting one.
Ah, man, it is getting thin up here.
Oh, yeah.
417. I like this pick a lot. I like Saint Stroll as one of my guys. He's a corner. I get it. I just feel like anytime something happened on defense in Michigan, Saint Stroll was somehow involved in the play, the frame, or doing something to set it up. So he's just a creature of chaos, and sometimes you need that on the defense. Dolphins, Dadrion, Taylor, Demerson. Dear God, I have no idea where some of these people are.
DTP.
He was a 4th-round pick. Dadrion.
Yeah, he's a track athlete at Texas Tech. He run fast.
Okay. Makes sense on Arizona then. The Texans taking Jordan Travis. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I was hoping he would fall to the 5th, but I really like this. I think Travis is in a great spot for developmental purposes.
Yeah, it's more than worth the dart throw. That's for sure.
Kamari Lassiter, another corner here going in the 4th, this time to the Steelers at 420. Brennan Jackson, edge going to the Titans. Kendall Milton, running back, going to the Lions. Dwayne Carter, former Duke D tackle, to the Saints. Mekhi Wingo to the Dolphins. And, we'll just do the rest of them here since we're here. I take another safety at 425, Malik Mustafa, to the 49ers. Oh, I took a 49er. Everyone's surprised. And then Chargers go back-to-back. Dylan Johnson, I think went undrafted to Tennessee. And Tanner McLaughlin, another Cincinnati tight end. Again, could very well get on the field due to blocking situations. So we are up to the 428 with the Seahawks on the clock.
I don't know what we're waiting for. He's mentioned something about the taxi squad or something.
Yeah, I claimed Sean Tucker from him, but he promoted him, so I don't know what he's doing now.
He said he was going to wait till the last minute to promote Tucker. I guess apparently he got on the clock at the same time as he promoted Tucker, or something to do with it. He brought it up. I don't know. I don't care. He's clearly around, and he's not picking because he likes to troll us. So
yeah,
I'm just going to call that what it is and hope that he picks soon.
Right. So out of these picks, I like Sandra still most. He's going to score the most points out of this group this year, I think. Dwayne Carter is interesting, given the rotation that Buffalo is probably going to use. And Kendall Milton will literally never see the field.
Oh, man.
I just want to call him Mustafa Mufasa.
But Dwayne Carter was an academic All-American. He's a smart boy.
I don't know. With the Duke, one of our analysts is a former, football volunteer or analyst or whatever. But anyways, let's move over to the trades. So where we left off, took a couple player contract dump from Bill for the 519. 312, moving back 5 picks and picking up the 332 from the Pats in the process. Raiders 406 for the 423, 424, and 431, and a 5th. Damn. Bill, he charged you a lot.
I'm not worried about that. I had to consolidate due to cap years.
This next one's just fun. Rome going to Giants with Mayer for Laporta. I mean, Giants now has Lamb, Harrison, Neighbors, and Adunze, so he gets everything he wants and more. Good for him.
Tight end.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cardinals, you're not competing this year. You've said it yourself. Like, you've tried to take a back seat. You've stayed away from trying to move some of your later picks. You didn't try and move some of the early picks where you had them for players to build around. So why are you making a win now move if you're not trying to win right now? Like, let's just be congruent in our strategies, guys.
Part of me thinks that this was him just begging for someone to come and offer for Mike Mayer. And he got an offer and he took it. And it's not a bad trade whatsoever. I don't know who I would rather have out of Laporta or Adunze, but if I'm Giants, I'm keeping my tight end. I already got my wide receivers taken care of.
You don't know who you'd rather have between Laporta and Adunze?
I mean, I would rather have Laporta personally, I think. But I mean, I can make an argument for both. Does anybody disagree?
I do. I would much rather have the Laporta side of it.
As would I.
I wouldn't even consider Laporta an offer for Adunze. So I know earlier in the offseason that was not what I was saying, but as I've learned more about everybody and put into the landing spots, and for the simple fact that Cardinals has Caleb. You went and did this. You traded A.J. Brown so you could stack Rome with Caleb.
Well, what's funny is he traded me 5 for the right 5+ to get Caleb. He could have just stayed there and taken Rome.
But he wouldn't have gotten Caleb.
Right. Well, that's true. I guess it's all priority based.
Really, what you're saying, though, is it's 5+ for Laporta, which is ridiculous in its own right.
Yeah. Ravens stole Justin Ross from me. For some reason that went into my promotion, so I didn't see it, so shit happens. Pat's moving Paulson Adobo for Jalen Watson and 2 future fourths, which he later trades to me for the 408. So 408 and Jalen Watson for Paulson Adobo. I think a second was involved in getting him in the first place.
Probably. I mean, knowing Pat's probably.
So this next deal, I think, was a fantastic move by Ravens. I know I had a version of this offer that because if my team was not being torn down at the moment, which is the direction I'm going, I would have absolutely snap accepted it. And Ravens had a later pick than I did in this range. So bravo for him for being able to grab this.
It doesn't make sense. Higbee's not even going to play for this year. Like, he's going to be, at best, he's going to miss the fantasy season. Like, I don't understand why this move was made. I get it from Bill's perspective. I don't understand it generally. I know that the third round they're all dart throws or whatever, but like, I don't know. Don't buy the injured guy who's not going to play this season.
I don't know.
If you don't think he plays at all, Kobe Parkinson guys is going for a first rounder.
That's a steep asking price.
Right. I thought you mean don't you mean Davis? Whatever the fucking guy's name is, the 6'7" guy.
Talking about just the tip?
No, the guy in the Rams.
Oh, why did I know that was going to happen at some point?
Anyway, we can move
It
on.
happens a lot. Fuji Grant for the 423 and the 531. Didn't someone completely tear me a new one for trading Richie Grant and not getting top 8 safety value for him?
He lost his job.
I hope nobody ripped you for that. Or they're just believing what Fantasy Sharks is telling them. But
Right.
that guy's a backup.
Yeah, he's not playing.
Yeah, that's Marco Hellman's job on the Bengals.
And that'll come up soon in another deal, I believe.
Bill and I make another trade. Bill's happy to use me as a dumping ground for a lot of his things. Mac Jones, DJ Dallas, Brandon Johnson, Cleveland's kicker, Chauncey Golston, Troy Avery, 328, 513, my fifth, and the Giants' fifth next year for the Buffalo kicker, Austin Johnson, and a 325. Believe it or not, this started with a 325 for 328 and 2/5. And that's what it ended up being. The way you start isn't exactly where you end up. Shit happens. I'm trying to break some records here, so I'm grabbing more picks, and I grabbed 2 late fifths this year from Ravens for my fifth next year and the Giants' fifth next year. So Ravens is laughing all the way to the bank on that one. And oh darn, I took a fifth this year instead of next year. I mean, this is like trying to hit a tree with a bottle rocket from 100 feet away. Like, my chances are slim and none.
Is that 5.36 the last pick in the draft?
No, I think Jeremy has that. I think it's 538. Someone's more than welcome to look that up and double check me. It's not going to be me. Let's see. Oh, small trade here. Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, Jalix Hunt to Bill for Aaron Jones, Mike Gesicki, and TJ Hawkinson.
I mean, those are some old guys.
Yeah.
Like, Packers must be really happy to get rid of those guys.
They're all on 1-year contracts too.
That's bold, Bill.
Well, Jalix is the rookie that he took that I got off of that. But it's an upgrade at running back. It's an upgrade at tight end. I'm giving up depth and long-term output. So this is more of like an all-in upgrade the roster as best I can move.
That's what I saw it as. Balls to the wall.
Yep. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. It is definitely an all-in move.
Yeah. And guess what? I still don't have a quarterback.
Let's say all in with a rookie quarterback who won't be seeing the field.
That's not important.
No, not at all.
He can have Sam Darnold anytime he wants.
What do you guys mean? You guys didn't get the leak yet? You know, Kirk is going to tear his Achilles again in the first preseason game.
He might. We don't know.
You can do well in this league without a quarterback. So
Yeah.
And Bill, I don't know what to do with this next trade. Do I ignore it because I?
mhm.
I'll tell you why it happened. I couldn't have. I have like an idea in mind. I need to make sure that I have the cap for it. I couldn't afford a fourth compared to a fifth. I needed the $450,000 in cap space.
Oh my god!
You literally took the draft day trade. Hey, we traded down from the 101 to the 107 for all the shit we traded for the 101, and it's okay because we're paying them less.
Mhm.
I'm looking at it like this though. I like the outlook of the Texans special teams unit more than the Bills and the Giants. And the Giants suck, so they're going to be punting a lot more than the Lions are.
No, Bill. There's only one thing that we can take away from this: that you need to go enjoy your fucking pancakes.
Yeah.
Buccaneers, Donta Foreman, Byron Murphy, 402 for Alberto, 407, and 409. We're to the range of the draft where I should be charging the league for saying all of these names. Granted, I made most of these trades. Most of this is my fault.
I'll be shocked if all three of these guys are still on rosters in week 1.
Yeah. This feels just like cap dump for draft picks.
Yep.
Let's see. I take 408 away for the Chargers 4th next year and the Patriots 4th next year. Bucks give up 409 for 411 and 432. Bucks give up Ogbonu for 520 and 521. Bucks give 411 for Caden Stearns. Seahawks give 410 for 412 and the Saints future 4th. What the? What's so important to move up 2 spots in the 4th round to give up a future 4th like that?
I don't know, but aren't we sitting on that pick right now?
Yeah. No. It's further down. We're waiting on the charge of the 428. This is the 412.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh God. All right. 413 for Hayden Hurst with 435. Good for Rams for being able to get in to take Lewis Reese Zamet.
Isn't Hurst the starter in LA right now?
No. That's Will Disley.
I mean, does anyone feel really good about any starter?
I was going to say, I wouldn't say that Will Disley has a stranglehold on that starting position either, though.
No, not by any means. I don't like any of them there. When this trade happened, the only reason why I know is because I had to look at the depth chart, and I was like, why is Will Disley above Hayden Hurst? And I also don't understand why both of them are above Donald Parham when he's been on the team for 4 years.
I don't know.
Isn't Parham the guy from the Arena League?
I don't know. I know he played basketball, and he's like 6'7".
I thought he was like 6'9". I thought he was weird.
Maybe he is. 6'8".
All right. Samaje Perine and Shai Tuttle for DJ Reader in the 432. Whatever.
Reader will probably still be on a roster week 1. I don't know about the other two.
Yeah. So the 2 fourths I got for the 408, I moved for the 412 and the 425. Eagles 414 for the 524 and my 4th next year. So, not a bad trade to get the 401. Justice Hill for the 434, the 424 for the 430 and the 502, and the 513 for the 520 and the 521. So at this point, we're still at the end of the 4th round, waiting for Seahawks to pick. What was he last online? Not that I think it matters, but
20 minutes.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So.
Make your goddamn pick.
No, he's doing Seahawks things. It's one of the things that has popped up again here, and I feel like every time I try and tell people, like, you know what, just let people do their thing. It's fun. If you're gonna hold up the clock, just say you're doing it. But again, here's not one of the owners that does it, but to troll, and that's what I don't get. Like, we all have enjoyment of the draft process. We all want to take our time to make the best pick at our pick. Some people, that's okay being an auto draft. Some people, they need a couple of hours to evaluate drafts or evaluate offers, things like that. If you're just sitting there because you think it's pissing us off, like, what's wrong with you? I mean, seriously.
Some people just like to see the world burn.
I mean, Dark Knight votes aside, like, I don't know.
a little lame, but it's okay.
I agree.
I mean, we just spent all of Saturday waiting on the Cowboys to stop driving. So
Yeah, there's a couple of teams that, and again, things happen. That's why there's a clock for flexibility. I'm all for that. But you pop on 3 or 4 times in the process, I believe it less. So, again, that was not a direct shot at Seahawks, although I feel like he has directly tried to troll me in the past. So I don't think he's going to be too upset about me saying that here. But I think there are a couple of other owners that have been in the last 20 to 25 picks or so that have decided they're going to have a little bit extra fun by holding up the clock a little bit more. So I don't know. It's tough to police. It's tough to stop. It's something that is just kind of part of leagues, unfortunately.
Yeah, we have some people that have been on the clock for 13 and 17 hours. So it's fun to look at everybody's average wait times.
Yeah, I mean that's what I wasn't sure about too, and I'm sure it's like this every year where, we're out of the gate and we're upset we're not through 15 picks by the end of the first day, and then by the end of the second day we're nearing the end of the first round and we're it's so much better, this is great, and then we're through. I'd be curious, and I put this in the analytics channel, like, are we making progress kind of a certain number of picks per day every year? Is it kind of that things speed up or slow down during certain rounds? How does this end up working? So there's smarter people than this that can probably do this in seconds where it would take me a week and a half. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe it falls in the category of things that only interest me. Cool.
Just want to put it out there that Bears has officially put Daniel Jones on the trade block for all interested parties.
Ooh, I should go buy my third quarterback.
You don't want any cap space anyway.
Nah.
I think it's 24 million.
Oh, yeah, definitely can't afford that.
Do it while we all have $450,000 rookies.
I was going to say until all the salaries are updated.
Yeah, and Jeremy was mentioning that after the kids went to bed, he was going to start updating. So I imagine we're going to start seeing some numbers that are real pumping into rosters here. Let me do a quick refresh of mine to see if we've got anything in there yet.
Nothing on my team. Mine's still 450 for Jaden Daniels and crew.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I was going to check Cardinals because he had Caleb. Caleb is still $450K on a 1-year deal. Might want to lock him up longer term. I don't know. Pretty aggressive.
Somebody go trade for him so they can trade extend him. Since he only
Got
has
a
1
rookie
year.
deal, I can't.
Oh, darn.
All right. All jokes aside, any parting thoughts before we close off for now? If we finish like midweek, we'll maybe jump back on Wednesday just to kind of put a bow on everything. I thought we'd be doing that today, but like I said, we had some roadblocks that I don't think were expected, but I feel like maybe they do happen every year.
Yeah, they do. I'll say we've moved a lot faster this year compared to other years, just as a whole.
Over under on skipped 5th round picks is 12.5.
Under 5.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
You're going under 5. I'm thinking it's probably at least 8 or 9.
No, that's where all the time for the draft goes, because somebody's gonna forget to skip their pick, and then they're just gonna sit on the clock until it expires.
There's something you guys haven't realized about the 5th round yet, and I don't know if I want to tell you now or if I want to save it for the next podcast as a bit of a cliffhanger. But when you look at the 5th round, you're going to realize something about a lot of these picks. They have something in common, and I think that means a lot of these are going to get taken. So I'll save that as a cliffhanger for next time. We'll go ahead and talk about this offline, but 50-minute episode this time, not necessarily as marathon-y as our last couple, but we're going to do our own thing sometimes. So we'll keep the post pod going here, see if we can get some more trades happening. I'm really confused the shit out of Jeremy as he tries to figure out which of these rookies are on which team. So until next time, thanks all for joining and enjoy yourselves.